Hey guys, what's up? Serpentine19 here, giving a brief rundown of Ubisoft's E3 2014 Conference. Let's get right into it with what they started with, which was Far Cry 4. It was the first 5 minutes of the game that they showed off, which was pretty much an introduction to your character and the main villain. We'll call him the main villain for now, but with the last game obviously he wasn't the main villain, so this guy could possibly not be the main villain. But yeah, so you're introduced to those two kind of characters. Pretty much the evil guy, I think was called Pagan, is pretty psychotic. Ended up stabbing a guy to death with a pen. But yeah, so they didn't show any gameplay of it. It was just that brief trailer. Not brief trailer, but like brief cutscene footage. But yeah, we got introduced to a couple of the characters. After that, Just Dance 2015 came on. It was just showcasing user-generated content. And then they moved on to the mobile version of it, which you can actually connect wirelessly to screens, and I'm not sure exactly how it works, like it must motion track or something, but yeah, you can kind of like have massive groups of people dancing along with just their phones. Interesting idea, not sure whether it will really catch on, but hey, we'll see. Next up was The Division. The trailer at the start was all purely CGI and was kind of setting the mood, setting the scene for the game. It kind of showed how the outbreak started and how it happened, and showed the city kind of collapsing, like going from the New York you know to the New York that's in The Division. And that was actually kind of really well done. Yeah, with like quarantine fields going up, people barricading their doors. It was really well done. And they'd like they didn't show the people in the world, but it was like implied that they were there. Yeah, so that was basically all the backstory. And again, the release date is sometime this year. I'm guessing it'll be fairly close to the end of this year. It won't be anytime soon, I don't think. Next up on stage was The Crew. They showed a pretty lengthy, actually, trailer. It was, I'm pretty sure it was in game, and it was just the cars fast forward, going coast to coast. And yeah, it was a little bit strange. I didn't think they needed to put that much time. I guess they were just trying to show how large the world is, but yeah. It featured off-road and on-road racing or driving, and then the beta was announced. So I can't remember the exact date. You can head over to their website and you can sign up for it. It was this month. Yes, it was this month. Yeah, I'm just not sure on what day it was. Because The Crew was announced last year, I was kind of hoping there would be more gameplay at this year's E3, but there wasn't. I think they're still pretty heavily in development, and they didn't want to show too much off, but yeah. Next up was Assassin's Creed Unity. Again, it was another CGI trailer. The trailer was done really well. It was a great hype trailer, had a great song, had a really great like story behind it. So yeah, if you want a hype trailer for Assassin's Creed, that'll be a good one to go watch. Then it went into the gameplay, and again, similar to what it was in the Microsoft one, it was centered around just the sheer amount of people they've put in this game, the massive crowds. And then it showed how by just walking around the world, you'll get a random objectives, which can be murder mysteries, catching a thief, or doing a certain mission, like follow mission or something like that. And it showed how well, it didn't really show, but I got the feeling that the co-op is drop in, drop out. So it'll be very easy to just go up to a mission. It says max 4 players, and you can just connect to people straight away, which is nice. And yeah, that's pretty much all they showed for that. Next up was Shape Up, which is a fitness game. Yeah, they've really tried to get away from the kind of fitness routine, and they've actually tried to put it into a game, and I think it's actually a pretty cool idea. I could see a lot of people actually using this because it is so gamey, if that's a right word to say. A lot of mini games here and there, and you kind of challenge yourself. It keeps stats on you, and from the way it looked, the camera works really, really well for it. But hey, maybe they had a perfect setup for it, I don't know. But yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. Next up was Valiant Hearts. This was an interesting one. I'm not exactly sure what the gameplay is in this game. But it's meant to be centered around World War One, and it's got this 2D cartoony look to it. It kind of felt like you played as the dog, but I'm not entirely sure. You might play as each of the characters related to the dog, and the dog's just something that combines them all together. But yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. It wasn't really well explained. Then they ended with an announcement, brand new, well, not a new IP, but a brand new game in the form of Rainbow Six Siege. This is basically a multiplayer cops versus robbers, and it actually looked really interesting. It looked really good. It was all pre-alpha footage, which really impressed me. It was great. The UI had an extremely reminded me of the CSGO HUD. Like the kind of portraits at the top, the kill feed. It reminded me very much of that, and even the way it kind of played kind of reminded me of Counter-Strike. But it does have a lot of stuff going for it that's separate from that as well. You got a lot of like satchel charges that could just blow entire walls down. When you shoot at walls enough, they'll end up just obliterating into a million pieces, and you can see through them. It's going to be a very interesting game, and I hope they have a beta for it because I really want to have a look at it. I probably will have a look at it once it's released anyway though. But yeah, that was a pretty impressive gameplay demo. Yeah, that was all for the Ubisoft conference. Next up will be the Sony conference, which should come out just after this video, hopefully. Yeah, so like, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.